Hi everyone, welcome back to class. It's nice having you all in today's class. What is the primary purpose of adding preservatives to food? Remember our class during food preservation and food additives, where we're saying that most of the time our food additives could even serve a dual function, could also be as a form of food preservation. We cited the example of vitamin C, which could be a food additive and can also be a food preservation. We and Now, what are food additives? Food additives are substances that we add to our food to enhance flavor, to make it attractive, to make it appealing, to make it smell nice, to make it look good, to make it look bright. Now, on the other hand, food preservation are things that you add to your food to prevent them from spoilage, to reduce the growth of microbes, to even prevent the entry of microbes. So, and we have some food additives that could also serve as food preservatives. We have them like that. So, coming back to this question, it said, what is the primary purpose of adding food preservation to food? Options: A, to enhance flavor. That is the work of food additives, not preservatives. B, to improve texture. That is the work of food additives, not preservatives. C, to prevent spoilage and extend shelf life. That is work of preservative. To prevent spoilage and extend shelf life. D, to increase nutritional value. When you add preservatives to food, that doesn't necessarily mean that it will help you to increase nutritional value. No. But the main aim of preservation is to prevent spoilage and extend shelf life. So that C is the answer to that question. Moving on, which of the following method is commonly used to preserve food by removing water content? Which of the following method is commonly used to preserve food by removing water content? A, canning. B, freezing. C, dehydration. C, fermentation. The answer there is dehydration. Now let's move on. What is the primary purpose of pasteurization in food preservation? What is the primary purpose of pasteurization in food preservation? You remember when we were discussing pasteurization and when we were discussing you remember when we were discussing pasteurization, we did we compared pasteurization and sterilization, and we stated their disadvantages, we also stated their advantages. We said the main aim of both pasteurization and sterilization is to help us to remove or reduce pathogens, is to help us to remove or reduce pathogens, which are disease causing microbes. We do that by eating up our food products, but the heat that we add, the heat that will be added, is what differentiates them. If it were to be pasteurization, the food will be heated with a temperature that is less than 100 degrees Celsius. But if it were to be sterilization, the food will be heated at a temperature above 100 degrees Celsius. We also said that for pasteurization, that it helps us to inhibit, to just slow down the microbes that are there in the food. But for sterilization, it helps us to eradicate them. Another point is that under pasteurization, the nutritional value of the food, the taste of the food, the texture of the food is being preserved. But under sterilization, it could alter the texture of the food, it could alter the flavor of the food, it could even alter the appearance of the food. That is, those are how we will try and compare them. Then now let's take that knowledge and use it to answer this question, which says, what is the primary purpose of pasteurization in food preservation? Now let's check out the option. 1A, to kill all microorganisms. B, to remove water content. C, to add nutrients. D, to reduce pathogenic microorganisms. Let me come over that question again. The answer to that question is D, to reduce pathogenic organisms. And we do that by exposing the food to eat at a temperature less than 100 degrees Celsius. Moving on, which food addictive is commonly used to prevent oxidation and spoilage in food high in fats? Which food additive is commonly used to prevent oxidation and spoilage in food high in fats? A, emulsifier. B, antioxidants. C, preservatives. D, flavor enhancer. Let's take the options one by one. Emulsifier. The emulsifier is an addictive. It's an addictive, and what it does is that it helps water and oil to be able to incorporate very well. That is the work of emulsifier. The next one there, C, which is preservative. We've talked about it. It does help us to prevent food spoilage. The next one, flavor enhancer. It's also known as, we can also call them additive. It is what you add to food that will enhance the flavor, the texture, the look, everything. Now, option B, it says antioxidants, and that is the answer to this question, which says that which food addictive is commonly used to prevent oxidation. So the work of antioxidant is to, as the name implies, anti-oxidation. That is what comes together to be antioxidant. So it's to prevent oxidation of food. And when there is oxidation of food, it will lead to food spoilage. So antioxidant is the perfect answer to that question. Next, following are final products of cocoa bean, except A, drinks, B, beverages, C, chocolate, D, starch. We said from there you can get drink from it. From there you can get chocolate from it. From there we can get different beverages. You've heard cocoa tea. You can get it from there. What we cannot get from that is starch. So the answer to that question is D, which is starch. Moving on, the following are final products of oil palm, except the following are final products of oil palm, except when we discuss the oil palm, we make mention of different things that we can get from oil palm. We say we can get palm oil, you can get our body cream, you can get margarines, we can get palm kernel, we can get palm kernel oil, and so other things that we can get from our oil palm. Now let's look at this the options to this question now. A, Let me read the question again. The following are final products of oil palm except A. Red oil, B. Body cream, C. Margarine, D. Cake. The answer there is cake. The removal of soil, food residue, dirt, grease, and other objectionable matters is called dash. The removal of soil, food residue, dirt, grease, other objectionable matters is called dash. A. Disinfection, B. Irrigation, C. Cleaning, D. Fumigation. The answer to that is cleaning, because it involves the removal of soil, the removal of food residue, the removal of dirt, the removal of grease, and even other matters. If they say okay, is the removal of different insects, now you can say okay, you can be considering fumigation or disinfection, but it encompasses everything. So the answer to that question is C, which is cleaning. C, which is cleaning. Moving on. Which of the following components are major nutrients in our food? Which of the following components are major nutrients in our food? A. Carbohydrates, B. Lipids and proteins, C. Vitamins and minerals, D. All of the above. In our food, we have carbohydrates. In our food, we have lipids. In our food, we have protein. In our food, we have vitamin, we have mineral. So the answer to that question is D, which is all of the above. So that's the answer to that question. Now, the next question. The process of food preservation in which food are treated with high heat, usually above 100 degrees Celsius, to eliminate pathogens is called dash. A. Sterilization, B. Boiling, C. Pasteurization, D. Breaming. The answer there is sterilization. The next question. Dash is used in determining the fat content of a sample. Dash is used in determining the fat content of a sample. A. Fume cupboard, B. Titration, C. Furnace, D. Succinylate extractor. The answer there is succinylate extractor. I hope this will be helpful when you are revising your food and nutritional biochemistry course as a whole. I wish you best of God in everything you do. See you in the next class. Bye bye.